Hi there, and today I thought I would talk to you a little bit about Halloween and how you can have Halloween just as we do in the USA here in Denmark, and also how you can avoid it. Stay tuned.
Come along as my Danish husband and our two sons show this American what it means to live a life in Denmark. My New Danish Life.
Hi there and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kelly and I'm an American who lives in Denmark, and I have lived here for 5 years, and I have seen Halloween go from pretty much nothing in this small town that I live in to boom. A lot of people are going out and doing all different kinds of things for Halloween, which is surprising. And so I have decided that I am not going to be holding in my need to celebrate Halloween anymore, and I am going to just let my freak flag fly, and I'm going to decorate my house, and I'm going to carve the pumpkins and make the treats and whatever it is that I would normally do if I lived in the US. I'm going to do it. Well, at least maybe with 75%. I'm so excited because I love Halloween, and I think people would really love Halloween if they would just give it a chance. But I know that there are people on my street, a lot of older Danes, who don't know what Halloween is. They don't know what trick or treat is. They don't know kind of like the rules, the etiquette behind it. And then, of course, there are some who would rather not partake in anything Halloween because it's not Danish, whatever. So I'm also here for you, okay? I am not going to take sides, and I will help you avoid Halloween if you can, or at least trick or treat. So I am going to help you with that. Also, today is a sponsored video. Anna Louisa Jewelry from the US has sponsored this video and sent me 3 pieces that I'm really excited to share with you. A little surprise with them, so I'll talk to you about that in a second. Pretty excited. Before we get more into that, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you along as a subscriber. I really hope that my videos are valuable to you and to help you in some way. Sometimes I'm out there telling Dane some things about me as an American. Maybe other Americans can relate, because I really want to bridge that gap to, connect better. But also I have a lot of videos where I'm talking about, life in Denmark and how to survive, right, as a foreigner. And in this video, it's a combination of both, because I think it's the Danish, maybe, version of trick or treat and Halloween. Obviously, I can't speak for every region of Denmark, because there are some areas of Denmark who have been on board with Halloween for a very long time. I just don't live in that area. So I am going to be giving you some kind of basic tips. Maybe it's a little something extra that can really help you because it's something that you've been missing. But if you're somebody who really doesn't know much about this and you're thinking, I'd like to get started, what's kind of a basic outline that I can follow, then I'm going to help you with that. Okay, so I also want to talk to you a little bit about Anna Louisa before we get started in the video. So 2 minutes of your time, and then we'll get started on my Halloween do's and don'ts here in Denmark. Okay, so Anna Louisa is a sustainable jewelry company out of New York in the United States. And they have given me a discount code for my followers, so you can find it in the description. So I'm really excited to help you get your Christmas shopping, birthday shopping, whatever kind of shopping you want to do started right now. And so you can go and check that link in the description. I normally wear Anna Louisa jewelry in all my videos. I mean, this one I wear in a lot of videos. But I want to show you what they sent to me. They sent me these little ones I've had for a while. They're Anna Louisa, but I still love them. I don't ever take them out. But these biggie ones I just got, and I'm really excited. Whenever they come out with a new dangly version, I'm for it. That's my new set of earrings. I'm ready for it. And I really love how they kind of transform your outfit, in my opinion. I haven't been wearing earrings over the last couple of days, and then these came in, and I thought, that's because I've been waiting. Also, the other 2 things that they sent me are actually Christmas gifts, so shh, don't tell. This one is for my mother. It's a bracelet, and Ana Luisa doesn't have that much in silver. Most of what they sell is in gold. And so I saw this and I thought, oh, she would really like this. Spoiler alert, I guess, for her. But this one, this is a necklace. It's kind of, it looks like an opal kind of in the inside, you know, and then it's got like this crescent moon on the outside. And it hangs much like this one does. So I'm really excited. I thought to put all this on for the video, and then I'm like, I'm giving this as gifts. So I better not. But yeah, and they come in these cute little pouches. So, you know, imagine they're opening up a gift, but then it also comes in this nice little bag. I mean, these are fantastic for traveling, if you ask me. But be sure to use my discount code in my description so you can get a discount on your purchase. So again, thanks to Ana Luisa for that. Now let's get back to the video. Okay, so what is Halloween? Halloween is not something the Americans made up to sell candy. That came later, right? That whole trick or treat thing maybe came a little bit later. But trick or treat, Halloween, October 31st, it is the last day of the Celtic calendar. So this is a holiday that was celebrated by the Celtic people, people in like Ireland and Scotland, and it was thought that thousands of years ago, by the way, that it was the day that the dead could come back and walk upon the earth. They felt that because of the last day of the year, there was some type of, I don't want to say like magic in the air, but so it was a special day. And the people who lived in those countries obviously celebrated this Feast of Samhain, as it was called, and it had been passed down, this tradition, for many generations. And a lot of those people who ended up moving to the New World, North America, they brought their tradition with them. And so that was kind of altered a little bit. But in the 1900s, there was that tradition of people dressing in costume, and, you know, sweets and things being involved. And so we took that and we ran with it. And I absolutely am glad about it. I mean, part of my ancestry is Celtic, so it's interesting to think that, you know, for the past thousands of years, we have been celebrating this tradition and it's not lost its luster for us. But it's been altered. And now we're seeing it more and more in Denmark. And it's, you know, the first few years that we lived here, we didn't have any trick-or-treaters at our house. And it was so sad because I loved that, you know, I love the excitement of the kids and seeing what costumes they have and how creative they are. And they're so excited to get the candy. It's just a lot of fun. But we actually, in the last couple of years, I don't think last year, because of Corona, I can't remember. Did we have it last year? It was just a surprise, but it was a massive surprise to my older neighbors who thought, what am I supposed to do? I don't know how any of this works. And so in that process, I thought, you know what, I'm going to write something. I made a blog post, so you can check it out on my blog, that explains it in much more detail about the things you can do. You know, what is your job as an adult? What is your job as a child? What are some tips and tricks that I have from celebrating Halloween for now, like 43 years? And yeah, so what do? In Denmark, it's really good to have some rules. And Danes like rules. They like kind of following tradition. And it might not be a bad idea to start your own tradition for Halloween in your area. In the US, we only trick-or-treat for a couple of hours on one day. We don't let kids trick-or-treat until the wee hours of the morning, right? It does not happen. Maybe it's sometime between 5 and 7. So if you are a comuna, or if you're a town and you're thinking, let's get Halloween started, or a neighborhood, have some rules for when it's going to happen. Between 5 and 7 is always a good time. I realize it's kind of like the supper time, but it's a good time for kids to be home from school and people to be home from work for the most part. And it's also not too late because we know in Denmark it gets pretty dark. Normally in the US, if you want to show children that you want to participate in Halloween, you would have the light on over your front door. Well, I saw a lot of lights last year and I don't think people realized it. And I think the big thing was if you want to participate in Halloween, then you need to have a jack-o'-lantern, which is a pumpkin with the face cut out, and a candle inside on your porch. And I thought to myself, well, there's probably a lot of older people who aren't going to go out and do that. I have seen at places like Bilka, for example, that they have these ceramic pumpkins so you could put a candle in. So that could be something easy to do. The thing is, if you want to avoid anyone coming to your house, make it as dark as possible. And again, in my blog, I lay all this out in much more detail. But the thing is that if you're a parent taking your kids trick-or-treating, you need to look out for dark houses. Dark houses do not want to participate in trick-or-treat. And it happens also in the US. Sometimes people just aren't home. I mean, one year my parents came over to our house to trick-or-treat with my kids. So there was nobody at their house to hand out candy. Okay, it's not, oh, let's get them. They don't want to hand out candy. No, we can respect that some people don't want to participate or some people aren't home. So there's plenty of candy, I'm sure, to go around. Another thing that if you are actually the person handing out the candy, you want to make sure that the candy comes in a package that is already wrapped. So you don't want to buy a bag of vingummi, right? A bag of gummy candy, and then open it and then have all these exposed candies that you're like, 1, 2. You don't want to touch their food, okay? Again, especially with Corona, we need to make sure that we are not contaminating stuff, right? You don't want to be putting stuff into your mouth that somebody has touched. So you're going to be passing it out. And my neighbors, bless them, they figured out how many kids were on the street and they made these giant, candy bags. But the thing is that we had kids coming from I don't know where to our street to trick or treat. I'm like, I've never seen these kids before. I do not know what's going on. But again, if you don't have the designated 5 to 7 rule, then they could just come anytime. It's very important though that people know what to do and what not to do, okay? Don't go to houses that don't want you there, and explain this to your children. Also, kids, you need to be in a costume. The thing is, you might be like, okay, costumes are expensive. Yeah, well, you know what? Get into your mom's makeup and put some sort of face on, okay? You can be a clown pretty easily with just regular makeup. You don't have to go out and buy anything extra. My youngest son, he's going to be a superhero. So he has a superhero outfit that was bought in a store. But we have a lot of costumes from my older son. My older son wants to be an old man. So we have a mask that my husband bought many years ago. And then we went to the Genbrug, or the secondhand store, and we just bought him old man clothes, and he's gonna walk with a cane or whatever else, It doesn't have to be anything expensive. You can go through your parents' closet. I mean, you can dress up like, a crazy lady. Get your hair all crazy, put weird makeup on. It doesn't have to be anything, specific. You can get really creative. You can make costumes out of cardboard boxes and spray paint. I mean, seriously, the sky's the limit. Go onto Pinterest. You can look up any kind of costume. And I think really being creative is really part of the fun. So make sure that you come in some sort of costume. And again, parents, don't feel bad that you have to have the most expensive costume. That's not what this is about. It's about, fantasy and creativity and fun. So obviously this video is coming out right before Halloween. Maybe you'll watch it again another time and you'll prepare yourself. But you could easily, get secondhand costumes at the Genbrug or the secondhand store. We were just there and we found some as well in lots of different sizes. So one thing that we love buying for Halloween in the US are wigs. You can do a lot with wigs. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay, if you are a child going out trick-or-treating, some things that you need to have, again, the costume, but it's also really important that you are able to be seen. Maybe you want to be dressed all in black, which is fine, but it's very dark in Denmark and there aren't that many lights, really. I mean, our street, there are a lot of trees, we live near a forest. I mean, it's hard to see you normally. So it might be good to have some sort of band around your wrist, you know, some with a light flashing or something, just so that you're more visible. Also, it's not a bad idea to go trick-or-treating in a group. So maybe you're going to go off with your friends in a group trick-or-treating. And if you're curious, we normally don't let kids go trick-or-treating over the age of 14. How are you going to know? You're not. I always said if they come to my house dressed in a costume, I'm going to give them candy. There were always parents who would be dressed coming to my house and they always got candy. I don't know if they realized that or what, but that was always my personal role. But when you are going out, it's a good idea to make sure that you're seen. Stay on sidewalks, stay where it's lit. And then also, you're going to need a place to put your candy. Well, when we were kids in the US, we had these plastic pumpkins, and these pumpkins is what we carried around and we got all of our candy in. And I have seen some things like this in different places in Denmark. So it might be a good idea to check it out. However, it's so easy just to take a pillowcase or a grocery bag. It doesn't have to be anything special. I know for us, for kids, you know, for us, it just felt really special to have that pumpkin around with us. And I know in the US you can find them pretty cheap in a lot of different places, but maybe not so much Denmark. So again, don't put the pressure on. Just take a grocery bag when you're going around. But make sure you're saying trick or treat, or in Danish, slik eller belal. And I don't really know if that's, you know, I don't really know what people are going to say. I think my kids are going to probably say slik eller belal. So how can you make trick or treat a little bit more special, or Halloween in general? Well, there are a lot of great events throughout Denmark that you can go to make your Halloween a little bit more special. A lot of amusement parks will decorate for Halloween. We just went to Legoland and they had all kinds of things. They had their own little trick or treat going on, so it was pretty neat to see. I know that some zoos are like that as well. There are some places that may even have haunted houses or parades, so there's just a wide variety of places. Also, I know that the grocery stores sell pumpkins, but for us, we actually went to a farm and got our pumpkin. And this farm actually had a corn maze, so it was so cool because that's something that we're so used to. I come from northern Illinois in the United States, and we were constantly surrounded by cornfields. So to go to a corn maze here in Denmark was actually quite special. But there are a lot of different places where you can go and you could pick your own pumpkin, and that could be something that's also fun. One thing that I really like to do for Halloween in the US, in Denmark, it's going to happen this year. I have to actually figure out what I'm going to do. I have a couple of days, but I love dressing up to hand out candy. Absolutely love it. And it's always so funny to see the kids react to your costume. You know, they're not expecting to see someone dressed up. They're the ones who are dressed up. So I think that can also make it a little bit more fun. And if you haven't already carved your pumpkin and put it out on your front steps, that could be something that could be fun to do. Maybe you went out and bought a pumpkin just to put on your porch, or you didn't carve it. Well, carving a pumpkin is fun, but don't throw away the seeds. If you take the seeds apart, boil them in water for 10 minutes, and then put them on a baking sheet with some salt and maybe you can put other spices, whatever you want to do, and then bake those in the oven. They're actually a quite tasty treat. So that's something that we always look forward to every year also with Halloween is having that. Oh, and before I forget, the best thing that I always would love to do when I was walking around with my kids as they were trick-or-treating when they were itty bitty is seeing all the houses that are decorated. I know for right now, our house It's the only house decorated for Halloween. I don't know if that's going to change because it's not Halloween yet, but that's something that's always really fun in my opinion. And like I said, I'm going to step it up a notch this year. I'm not going full-fledged crazy, maybe next year. But it can be a lot of fun just to see how creative people can be and really to get the kids in the mood, you know. Of course, a lot of people have jack-o'-lanterns on their porches, but it can be quite fun to have a graveyard in your yard, or put spider webs in your bushes, or different things like that. Black crows, large spiders, I don't know. I've heard that there are some stores, that flower stores actually, that are selling huge Halloween decorations. I don't know where I would put that the rest of the year because we don't have all that much storage, but that is something to consider maybe for Halloweens in the future. I don't know. Let me know what you do to celebrate Halloween. Let me know where you live. If you're in Denmark, is this something that you're starting? Are you getting into Halloween? It's going to be your first time carving a pumpkin, or your first time going trick-or-treating with your kids, or even passing out candy. Let me know. Are you a seasoned veteran like myself and you have done trick-or-treating and Halloween parties and Halloween this, that, and the other many years? Tell me some of your tips and tricks in the comments. I would love to hear about that. Thanks for coming along on this video. Don't forget to check out the link in the description below to get your discount off 10% for Ana Luisa jewelry. And if you are actually going to be getting something, let me know in the comments which person you're buying jewelry for. I would be really curious to know. And also, are you doing some early Christmas shopping? That's it from me today. I hope you have a fantastic Halloween. Let me know your thoughts on Halloween in the comments. As always, take care.